Woo, what about that? Texas walked into our home stadium, Bryant-Denny, picked us up by our underwear, gave us a big wedgie, hung us on the wall, and smacked us around. Oh man, first things first, I do want to apologize for this video going up extremely late, or at least later than normal for what I would like to post for the Sunday recaps. Obviously had an extremely busy night last night, did the reaction to the Bama game, then after that game, I wound up watching the Auburn-California game, which by the way, we'll talk about that in just a second. Dude, if you didn't stay up for that Auburn-Cal game, you missed a good one. I don't know how Auburn pulled that off. California gifted them a game, but we'll get to that in just a second. And then after that game wrapped up at like 12:30, I then completely lost my mind. If you saw this video right here, you know what I'm talking about. Wound up talking about the Alabama quarterback situation yet again, showing Jalen Milroe how to throw a football at 1 a.m. And then after that, I wound up watching the Texas-Alabama game again to watch film because I'd have to do it anyways, and I was like, well, I might as well just do it tonight. Got done watching a film at 3 a.m., and yeah, here we are. So yeah, here we are. Do want to give y'all some context as to why this video is going up a little later. Rather less though, we're still good, we're still on time. It's going up on Sunday. And I gotta be honest with y'all, yet again, similar to week one, I had a fantastic time watching all the college football games on Saturday. And it goes back to this, and you're either gonna like this or love it. A main reason I enjoyed Saturday so much is because of the Colorado Buffaloes. Can't get enough of them. They make Saturday so entertaining. And you can say what you want about Deion, even if you don't like them, you know it's entertaining. However, I'm rooting for Deion in Colorado, and they're 2-0. Who would have thought? Well, I can't say who would have thought because the Colorado fans, they were trying to tell me in the offseason, hey, Matt, we're going to be the real deal. Hey, Matt, we might go 8-4, 9-3 in the first season. We're going to talk all about that, and obviously we're going to talk about all the games if you're new around here. Sundays, it's simple, man. We just recap the games. It is a staple of the channel. This is everybody's favorite video, or most people's favorite video of the week. And yeah, it's relatively simple, and of course, the main topic is no other than Texas and Alabama. Unfortunately, my team, Alabama, we lost, but it still doesn't take away from the fact I enjoyed Saturday. The Texas-Alabama game, it was good, it was competitive, and I loved it. Didn't love the outcome, but first things first, I'm not an Alabama fan first, I'm a college football fan first. I like seeing good games, and there was a bunch of them on Saturday. We got a lot to talk about, but real quick, before we get into this video, we are less than 10,000 subscribers away from 300K. So if you are new to the channel and you like college football content, consider joining our community. We'd love to have you here. I'd say we have a pretty cool community, just a bunch of guys and girls that like talking about college football. That's all there is to it. All right, Matt, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, where do we even want to start with this? Well, wait a minute, but Matt, why are you acting brand new? You know we start with our 11 a.m. games. I don't know why I forgot about that. But yeah, let's start with 11 a.m. first. At 11 a.m. to start things out hot, we had the Buffaloes against the sorry and sucky Cornhuskers. Oh, man. I tweeted this out. I talked about it after the, or during the live reaction. You know we do the live reactions right after the game. I'd hate to be a Nebraska fan. I would. It's to the point I'm tired of making fun of y'all. I just empathize with y'all, and I genuinely feel bad for you. The only solution to Nebraska football is this right here. If you're a fan, you got to enter the transfer portal. That's all there is to it. I know you don't want to do it, but sometimes in life you got to make difficult decisions and choices. Enter the transfer portal. Why not become a Colorado fan? They're not too far from where you are located, and Colorado's a better team and program right now than Nebraska. I'll talk about this more throughout the week. I can't spend 8 minutes talking about every single game because this would be a 3-hour video and nobody wants to sit here for that. The problem with Nebraska is they can't get talented guys to go up there. Try telling Nebraska fans in the offseason, I don't care that you got a new head coach. Their problem is these 4- and 5-star recruits don't want to go to Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska's a dinosaur, and I'll leave it at that. 4- and 5-star recruits don't want to play for Nebraska, and if you can't get 4- and 5-star recruits, you won't compete. The difference in this game was Colorado had 4- and 5-star recruits. That's all there is to it. And the worst part about this game for Nebraska is your defense played out of their mind. They played fantastic in the first half. The defense wasn't the problem, and you know I'm going to bring him up. Jeff Sims, what in the world are you doing back there, man? Nebraska has Subway sandwich makers back there trying to play quarterback for him. It is pitiful. I could understand muffing 1 snap, okay. But 2? Come on, man. And then the costly interception pretty much was a pick 6. Quarterback play was the difference in this game. But hey, with any big-time game, that's always the biggest factor, quarterback play. Whoever has the better quarterback normally wins. I said this when predicting the game. Do y'all remember? I'm rolling with Colorado because they got the better quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. And well, here we are. Colorado wins. Like I said, I'll talk about that more throughout the week. Also at 11 a.m., we had Notre Dame versus NC State. This game took like 7 hours because of the rain delay. And it was close all throughout the game, but Notre Dame did pull away at the end. I wouldn't sit up here and say I was impressed with Notre Dame because I wasn't impressed. It was more so of, I was like, you know what? They took care of business. That's how I felt about the game. The score is deceiving, 45-24, because it was way closer than that. It was really a touchdown ball game all throughout, or really up until late in the fourth quarter. And yet again, guys, well, what do you know? Quarterback play was the biggest reason for Notre Dame winning and NC State losing. I'll just show you this box score right here. Sam Hartman, 15 for 24, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 INTs. That's pretty decent, right? Well, look at this for NC State. Brennan Armstrong, 22 for 47. That's what? 47% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, okay, but 3 INTs. You want to know a difference in this game? That right there. Now, granted, one of those INTs that Armstrong threw, it was tipped and it should have been caught. That's not his fault. But rather less, having 3 interceptions, it's still 3 turnovers. Doesn't matter how you throw them, you still got them. Believe it or not, and if you're a Notre Dame fan, let me know in the comment section because you know I've been giving y'all crap the past 10 years. I'm slowly starting to buy into a Notre Dame hype. I like this team. I think they're a fundamental team that's not going to beat themselves. And a team that doesn't beat themselves is a very, and I mean a very dangerous team. Notre Dame's playing winning football, and I'm really liking this team. Who would have thought I'd said that 3 weeks ago? Not me. So congratulations to Notre Dame. Do not undervalue this win because I think it was a big one on the road. I would love to talk about that some more, but moving along here, also at 11 a.m., what about this? Utah barely sneaking out of Waco, Texas with a 2013 win. Baylor should have won this game, especially if it wasn't for the quarterback throwing the game-losing interception. And all in all, some people would say, well, dang, Utah's not looking that good, and I've taken this with a grain of salt because they didn't have their starting quarterback, Cam Rising. I am not going to be critical on a team when they are winning games with their backup quarterback. I'm just not. Anytime you can win with your backup quarterback on the road, good win to me. Moving along here, though, to our 2:30 games. This was a really good one. We had Ole Miss and the Lane Train versus the Tulane Green Wave. Man, I was so frustrated for Tulane because they had to play with their backup quarterback. I firmly believe if they had their starter, Michael Pratt, they'd have won this game. This game, you're going to see the final score right here, 37-20. No. It was way closer than that. Tulane was even winning 17-7 in the first half. It just came to the point where Tulane, they couldn't put the ball in the end zone, and eventually that Lane Kiffin offense, it finally caught fire. And yeah, I really don't want to make a short recap on a top 25 matchup, but that's all there is to it. The only difference in this game was Ole Miss made big plays at the end. I will say this, though. That Tulane team, they was giving Ole Miss's offense some fits in the first half. They were stopping the run, and believe it or not, that's what Lane Kiffin likes to establish first. A lot of people have this misconception about Lane Kiffin that he likes to throw the ball 400 times a game. No. Lane Kiffin wants to run the ball a lot. He uses the run to open up the pass. And I'll prove it to you right here, even in this game. Ole Miss, they had 35 rush attempts and only 28 pass attempts. So you do what you want with that information, but yeah, Ole Miss won. I picked them to win, and they should have won. They're an SEC team. But hey, the SEC struggled this week, and we'll talk about that later in the week as well. Also at 2:30, we had a game this was the main game I was focusing on. We had A&M and Jumbo Fisher versus the U. It's all about the U. It's all about the you. That gets me hype when I think about that song. But anyways, Matt, quit being corny and cringy and lock in. Sorry. Yeah, Miami walks away with a 48 100-33 victory. I'm shocked, and I'm not shocked that A&M lost this game. I'm shocked that Miami looked this good. Considering how pitiful and embarrassing they was last year, 5-7, if I was a Miami fan, I'd be pretty dang happy, but do we even have Miami fans? I don't think so. I don't understand what's going on with Miami football. They can't even sell out a top 25 matchup. Well, you're playing a top 25 team, but you get what I'm trying to say. That stadium was half empty. And I get it's because the stadium isn't even close to a university, but still, that's crazy to me. Do they just not have fans, or is it that inconvenient to go to those games? I have no idea. And when I say I have no idea, I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. Could somebody please inform me in the comment section? Do they just not have a lot of fans there? And I've also heard this. People that live in Miami, they're more so of pro sport fans, like the soccer teams, the NFL teams, and the NBA teams. Maybe that's what it is. That would make a little sense to me because it's the same thing in Los Angeles. You don't see a lot of college football fans out there because they go for the pro teams. Whereas for a team like Alabama and Tuscaloosa, that is your pro team. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's talk about the game itself. Texas A&M just had too many costly mistakes, and they couldn't overcome them. How many turnovers did they have? I've already forgot. Wasn't it 4? No, they only wound up having 3, but they had the lost fumble, the 2 interceptions. I don't care who you are. When you're playing a Power 5 opponent on the road, and you have 3 or more turnovers, or even if you have 2 turnovers, more times than not, you are going to lose. It's hard to overcome that. Same thing with Jalen Milroe in Alabama. You have 2 costly interceptions in your own territory of the field, you're probably going to lose the game. It doesn't matter what you do outside of that. And I guess this is the trend of this week's video. Let's compare quarterback play, shall we? Connor Wigman, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. That's not so great. On the contrary, Tyler Van Dyke, 21 for 30. That's really good. 374 passing yards. That's really good. 5 touchdowns, 0, circle them, 0 INTs, QBR of almost perfect, 94.6, rounded up to 95. And well, what do you know, in a close game like this, what was the difference? Quarterback play. Now, is that the determining factor in the game? No, I think the determining factor in this game was Texas A&M's defense is terrible. You could give credit to Tyler Van Dyke, but the defense was just not good. And I wish I could sit up here and overreact to this and say I'm shocked, but I'm not. Are you? Let me know in the comment section. Are you actually shocked that Jimbo Fisher lost a game he should have won? No. Or at least you shouldn't be. And I believe I saw this somewhere. Jimbo Fisher in 6 years at A&M has only started out the season 2-0 once. Think about that and let that sink in. I've been telling y'all, Jimbo Fisher, he's a fraud. You should have been fired him. I don't care if the buyout is $1 billion. You might as well fire him. He is ruining that Texas A&M program, and it's a shame. It is a shame. And they're never going to fire him because every year he's going to get a big win, and they're going to go 9-3, and it's good enough to where you can't really justify firing him. It is what it is. He's the biggest scam artist in 2023. Also at 2:30, they want to bring this up. What about Tennessee struggling with Austin Peay? Is that how you say it? I think so. Yeah, that was interesting. Really interesting. Then you also at Appalachian State, man, they can't catch a break. Last year, they lost to North Kakalaki 63-61. This year, they lost 40-34 in double OT. We was rooting for you, Appalachian State. We was rooting for you, but North Carolina, they pull it out. And my biggest takeaway from that game is I'm not too sure if North Carolina didn't play good or if Appalachian State just played out of their mind. Maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know, but that was your typical letdown game after a big win against South Kakalaki. Then also you had Oklahoma. I told you, pay attention to this game because SMU, they can cause some havoc, create some noise, and yeah, Oklahoma won 28-11, so not too much to say there. It was an odd game because I didn't feel like Oklahoma played great, but I also didn't feel like they played bad. A win is a win, nothing to complain about there. Then we had Oregon and Texas Tech. That was a good game. I felt like Texas Tech should have won this game, but Oregon, they pulled it out 38-30. And then, guess what, guys? Your boy Matt finally was right. I was finally right on something. I called this in the preview. Who remembers? I said, you know what? I'm calling the upset. Washington State will beat Wisconsin. And it happened. And I also told you guys I don't even think it should be an upset because I didn't think Wisconsin was a top 25 team. They're overrated. Finally, we're on the redemption tour. I was right about something. I was pleased to see that because been wrong a lot lately. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. And you know what game we're about to talk about? Alabama at 6 p.m. Oh, wait, we'll talk about the Auburn one after. I forgot about it. But at 6 p.m., we had Alabama and Texas in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Woo! What about that? Texas walked into our home stadium, Bryant-Denny, picked us up by our underwear, gave us a big wedgie, hung us on the wall, and smacked us around. Man, oh man, after watching some film late last night, early this morning, and sleeping on it for about the 4 to 5 hours I did before I got up again to watch some more film on different teams, my opinion on this game is very different from others. I said this last night, and this holds true after sleeping on it. I was extremely pleased with the defense. We have a bunch of young guys out there, and I thought they looked hard-hitting and ferocious. Was pretty happy with their performance. Did they play great and out of their minds? No, because there was definitely some busted coverages, and we gave up way too many big plays. And yeah, Texas did score 34 points, but also remember, Jalen Milroe threw one basically pick six, and then the other, they returned it to like the 20 or 30. And our defense held them to a field goal on one of them, and right there, that's 10 points alone. My point is, and where I'm trying to go with this, I thought the defense played good enough to win the game. Because at a certain point in time, you also got to do this. You can't just watch a team dice up your defense and go, man, our defense is terrible. Well, how about this? When are we going to give credit to the other team? That's what I'm going to do. You got to be mature enough to sit up here and say, hey, our defense, they look good. They was doing good stuff, but we just got outdueled, and that's what happened. You got to remember, Steve Sarkisian is one of the brightest offensive minds in the game. And to go on top of that, you know what makes Steve Sarkisian that much scarier? He is one of the best quarterbacks in the game currently in Quinn Ewers. Don't act surprised and do not try to act like I'm just jumping on the Quinn Ewers hype train. I've been hyping this dude up since he was a senior in high school. I've been telling people he's the real deal. I've been on the Ewers hype train. I love this kid. I love everything about him. I think he's super talented. And I got backlash last year for taking up for him when he struggled at times later in the season. I told people, I don't care. This dude's unreal. And he went into Bryant-Denny Stadium and he proved it last night. And also, I'm just thankful he didn't get to play. Well, I'm not thankful. I don't want to see a player get hurt. But last year in that game, if Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt, dude, we would have lost by 15 or 20 points. Realistically speaking, Alabama is lucky in the past 2 years. We're not 0-2 against Texas. But I think anybody with a decent IQ already knew that Alabama shouldn't have won that game last year. I'll give y'all a good example. Remember those ferocious and hard-hitting Alabama defenses in 2016 and 2017? When we played Deshaun Watson and Clemson in the national championship games? In both of those years, having one of, if not the best defense in the country, Deshaun Watson still put up 40-plus points in both games. Now, does that mean Alabama's defense wasn't good? No, nobody said that. Everybody's just like, dang, Deshaun Watson and Clemson, they can put up some points. They're great on offense. I personally think that was the case last night. Defense was all right. Texas offense just on another completely different level. Trust me, I'll tell you when the defense plays like crap. I've been telling y'all since last year. Defense last year was embarrassing. But in this game, I don't think it was embarrassing. I thought they did their job. That's really all there is to it for the defensive side of the ball for Alabama and the offensive side of the ball for, not Clemson, my bad, Texas. Let's talk about this, though, and I know y'all want me to talk about this, the Alabama offense and the Texas defense. Well, first things first, I said this in the video I made at midnight of the game. I had the last second thoughts about the game. I was like, man, what happens if that Texas front seven, they just bull rush Alabama and they bully us like they did in Austin, Texas last year? And well, what do you know? That's what happened. And I also said, hey, what happens in this game? And I'm not saying this is going to happen, which, by the way, did happen. But I said, hey, what happens if Texas is like, you know what? We're going to force Jalen Milroe to beat us. We're going to put 8 in the box and make you throw the ball. And I guess I was seeing the future or something, because that's exactly what happened. A lot of people have been quick to say, oh, well, this Alabama rushing attack, they couldn't get any yards. And I'm going to remind you right now, in those first and second couple of drives, we were running the ball fine. But what happened? Texas was like, no. We ain't going to allow this. We're putting 8 in the box, 7 in the box, and we're going to make Milroe throw the football. If he makes the throw, all right, we'll tip our cap, but if he doesn't, we're going to keep doing it. And guess what? That's what happened. Texas dared Jalen Milroe to throw the ball. And I also got to bring this up. What's up with Alabama's snapper? We couldn't even snap the ball right last night. There was just so many things that went bad on offense. Then when we snapped the ball, within a blink of an eye, Jalen Milroe scrambling for his life. Our offensive line was like that one-ply toilet paper in the middle school bathroom. I'm going to say that until they fix it. I'll stand on this. Outside the 2 interceptions, I thought Jalen Milroe played a decent game. He really did. It's just the 2 interceptions are so costly, and you can't overcome that. I was giving Jalen Milroe the benefit of the doubt up until the last interception because the offensive line was terrible. And all I've heard in the offseason is how big and bad this Alabama O-line is. We got an average weight of 350 pounds. Well, I guess they weren't big and bad enough, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to give credit to the Texas front seven. And I know a lot of people are going to come to this conclusion, oh, Alabama just isn't good anymore. They're falling off, this, that, and that's fair. I get it. I understand it. But you know what I'm going to say about this game, and I'll leave it at this? I think Texas just outperformed, outplayed, and just bullied Alabama. There's no reason to overcomplicate this, guys. I could sit up here and ramble for the next 30 minutes, but Texas was the better team on Saturday, and that's so rare to say, but it's the truth. Because whenever Alabama's lost in the past 10 years, well, we say, oh, yeah, Alabama beat themselves. Oh, yeah, they had a couple of costly turnovers. Oh, the quarterback didn't play good. They didn't do this or didn't do that. Oh, it's the offensive coordinator's fault. It's the defensive coordinator's fault. But this is one of the first times in my life as an Alabama fan or Nick Saban, I genuinely felt like we didn't have the better team and the other team was just better than us. And it's why I'm not too upset about the game. Of course, I'm a little upset, but I'm not too upset because I don't think we should have won. We shouldn't have won. We wasn't the better team. The reason Alabama losses hurt so much or have hurt so much in the past 15 years is because when we lose, we know and we knew we should have won the game. This year or in this game wasn't the case. That's all I got to say about it. Texas, you're better than us. Simple. I know Alabama fans ain't going to like that, but you got to come to terms with reality, man. Last but not least, before we end out this video, I want to talk about this California and Auburn game. I'm going to assume a large majority of you did not watch this game. And if you didn't, that's fine. I don't expect you to stay up late for Auburn and California. Who cares? Well, I care, and I did care. And this game, the final score you're going to see right here, 14-10. Well, you want to know what happened in this game? California just gifted them the game. They missed how many? Was it 3 field goals or 2? I think it was 3. Missed 3 field goals. They should have had another touchdown. I don't know how Auburn walked away with a W. Let this sit in with y'all. Auburn had 94 pass yards and won the game. And it's not like they had 200 rushing yards. They only had 136 rushing yards. They had less than 250 total yards and won this ball game. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. California, you should have won. You blew it. But as an Auburn fan, who cares? You won a game on the road with Hugh Freeze. You're 2-0. You're sitting pretty. And that's all there is to it. There's many more things I could say in this video, but I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts down below. But